Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! Oh, he banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Good morning, Syndicate members. What's up? Man, it's Winning on Wednesday. We're here every Wednesday live at 9 a.m. for your viewing and listening pleasure, all the way from Austin, Texas at Syndicate headquarters. Here we are. I'm your co-host, Tony Merwin. That is the man of the hour, the tower of power, the king of trucking groups, the king of Facebook groups, Joseph Campert.
Good morning, everybody. I see you, Josh. Oh, who's our mystery guest Tony put out there? Yeah, if you guys have any guesses who we're about to have on the show, go ahead and put that in the comments. Also, drop your weekly win in the comments. We'd love to hear it. I also put in the description of the show, it's StreamYard.com/Facebook, just so, again, we can get you up on the screen, just like Josh, and you can obviously see Tony's name there as well. So good morning. Hope everybody's having an amazing start to the week. Had a great holiday weekend. Anybody, did that throw you off at all? Because I forgot it was even Labor Day Monday, right? So, and then like I came in yesterday and I'm like hardcore, this is Monday and it's Tuesday. So I was just a little thrown off by that. But had a great weekend. That was probably one of my weekly wins, is got to meet my wife's sister, who is a nun over in New Zealand. And I've never met her before. And she hasn't been back in like almost 10 years. So spent some time in San Antonio with that side of the family, had a great time. Texas won, so we'll take that. I did miss the tailgate at the home opener, but hook 'em horns, baby. If you're a Texas fan, put that in the comments too. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that aren't. But that was a good time. And then really, man, I guess my main weekly win is kind of just game planning and goal setting and goal casting, not only for my team, but myself for the remainder of 2023. It's, guys, we're going to blink and it'll be 2024, I swear. Especially, well, anybody that's in Merwin space or in that health space, and you're getting ready for AEP or OEP, it's coming up real quick. So I think just having that again, it's like having where you're going in mind, right? So I have it just top of mind. I know what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to get done. And guess what? If I fail, because of where the standards are, that's like what Pete Fournier says, I still failed pretty good. He's like, I was going for 135 in a month. I only hit 117, but I'll take 117, right?
No shit.
So those are my weekly wins. Good family time, nice relaxing Monday out at the lake, and then just getting back in the office and getting after it. So
Yes. Labor Day weekend was great. I can't say that I got too lost in it. Yesterday, or not yesterday, but Monday, Luke Acree kept me in line with Monday mindset. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is Monday.
Yep.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, and I got to go on. But all around, just a great Labor Day weekend, and mostly just hung out at the house, did some chores, got caught up on a few things, and then went out and spent some time with some local Colombian folks that Grace had met through her Colombianas and Austin group. Went and hung out with them for a bit. Then obviously went and joined you at the lake. And then we had our Latin America market event on Sunday, and that's going to be my weekly win because it was the first time that we had the entire booth, everything in play. We had the drink stand in play, we had the side walls in play, the whole booth, and a bunch of goodies. So got a lot of attention out there as always. I love that market. It's a really good event for us. It's an inexpensive way to get out there and brand with the community, but I gloat a little bit about it because our booth is fairly rambunctious. If you've seen our booth, it looks like basically a villa vomited in a 10 by 10 square. brand is everywhere. So, you see some of the other booths, and certainly no offense to any of those vendors out there, they just have the simple white tent or whatever to show off their wares and goods. But then you come out there and ours is plastered with all kinds of stuff. So we stick out like a sore thumb, which is what you want. You want that attention. You want people to see you, notice you, because what did we learn in 8% this year? I think it was Emily Ford that said it. Visibility is your responsibility. So we took that to heart with the booth, and we made sure that when people see it, they know exactly what's happening at that booth. There are no questions.
Well, so let's stay there real quick, guys. We've got some exciting news we're about to share. We've got a couple mystery guests that we're bringing on that are going to just drop some serious value for everybody, and just kind of give you guys some updates. So stay in there, hang in there so you can be in the loop with us. But Tony, for somebody again in your space, right? Obviously, I think you're doing it for obviously the visibility and everything you're just talking about. But then the goal is obviously to use that grassroots marketing to drive people into the funnel for when you can enroll them, right? And again, I don't know all the ins and outs of that. For a new agent trying to what would you suggest to a new agent when it comes to kind of doing an event or something like that? Again, not like a seminar type thing. But I wanted to stay there because I think it's powerful, right? Like you said, Avila vomited in here. Well, it's like, but guess what? Everybody freaking knows who Avila is when they walk by that sucker, right? Talk a little about that.
Well known. It's going to depend a little on your budget, but ultimately, if you're an agent, if you're a newer agent and you're looking to do events, right, or you're looking to find a way to get your brand out there more, number one, you need to find an event that is going to be trafficked by your ideal avatar. And this is why this event works for us, because it's called the Latin America Market Event. So it's an outdoor market full of Latin vendors, Hispanic vendors. It's I'd say 95% Spanish speaking event. And that's our ideal avatar. Our ideal avatar is a Medicare beneficiary that speaks Spanish. So considering that they are in high volume through that event, it's a perfect event for us. And it fits in our budget. It's only $50 every time we want to go out there. The very first time we went, we sold 2 apps, or we created 2 leads that sold 2 apps. We can't sell at the event, but we created 2 good leads, followed up with them, and within a week we had them sold, made $1,000, $1,200, and boom. I mean, that event is paid for almost 2 years now.
That's right.
Profit side, and we continue to go out there and we continue to drum up leads, drum up business. We've had a lot of people that we've met through that event. Some of them have come by the office, some of them just call us up, whatever it is, and some of them have even introduced us to other events. We had a couple that we met there that actually drug us out to their church and had us do seminars at their church, which was pretty awesome. So it's just a matter of getting out in the community and getting yourself in front of them. But then you need to make sure that you're picking an event that has a high traffic volume of your ideal avatar. And if it does, get your butt at that event. And if you have to start off small, like obviously, I mean, we have a pretty ridiculous booth. If you don't have the money to invest in a booth like that, start with your local carrier reps, because they're begging to get their brand out there. So if you can't run with your own brand at first, talk to one of your carrier reps, and they'll probably give you a tablecloth. They'll probably give you some signage, and you can go out there and represent them until you may get it up to par where you can represent your own brand. One of my friends in the business, Amber Walker, does that very well. She's a big proponent of Humana. She's also a veteran herself, so she loves to push the Humana veteran plans that are out there. So you'll always find her like a Memorial Weekend or Veterans Day, like she's doing big events, all branded by Humana, right? But it's her booth, it's her event, it's her contact information, and she drums up a lot of leads out of it. And I can pretty much promise you, although I haven't asked her this, she probably got all that gear from Humana for free just by milking her rep and out. So, those are, if you're in the Medicare Advantage space and you're not working to build a relationship with your local carrier reps that are in your county or in your region, you're missing the boat. You need to, because if you grease the wheel with those guys, they will help you.
Right. Well, I think, you had a great point, which is a perfect segue into kind of our news, and just really, Josh Young said it on your Tuesday training. I think that was last week. Just say yes, right? And say yes and get out there. And you never know what opportunity is going to come from just saying yes and getting out there and showing up, right? And so how I met the 2 people that we're bringing on is literally because I said yes and I just got out there, man. And, I swear it's half the time it's who you're sitting next to at an event, at a festival, at a market, whatever, right? Even on Tony's side of things where, hey, maybe now I've got a strategic partnership with one of these vendors out here, right? So it's just getting out there and saying yes. And y'all, you'll be amazed of the opportunity that hits your plate, right? So real quick, before we do bring our guest on, so we have the announcement. You guys know I've been kind of hinting at it a little bit. we are bringing back the Thursday show. Okay, it will not be Tactical Thursdays, but we are bringing back the Thursday show, and that is our two special guests that we have here that we're bringing on. And so we're super excited for that. That does launch again next week, starting at 9 a.m. Central. Again, same Central Standard Time as all of our other shows, and we're very excited to be back up to six live shows a week, y'all, is how much we're putting out there. And really, again, it's to give as much back to you guys. I know me and Tony talk about it a lot. It's like, man, if I had a Joe or if Tony had a Tony back then when we first started, right, it's like, where could we be now? So we hope you guys find value in this. And again, we're super excited to bring back the Thursday show. And so without further ado, I got a quick little intro so that you guys can see what the name of the new show is and who the hosts are. And then we're bringing them on, again, just to kind of reintroduce themselves and also share a little bit about their story and what the show is going to be. So we'll see you on the other side.
Uh-oh, Joe, you already know. The Insurance Syndicate's the one-stop shop. Disrupting this industry if you like it or not. We're the best of the best industry-leading companies. You don't believe it? Well, come and see. Either way, we gon' keep on living. Wanna win? Well, pay attention then. Insurance Syndicate, make sure you remember the name.
Boom, baby. The secret handshake crew has arrived.
What is up, fellas?
What's
Mr.
up?
Wetmore, gentlemen, how are y'all? Oh, hang on
If I
a
was
second.
doing any better, I'd fall down in fits.
Good.
Good morning,
I
y'all.
need to see that.
Hey, you guys can obviously see we're bringing them back. So Perry's a little bit newer to the podcast space with us, but John, everybody was asking for him back. So guys, you called, he answered. Mr. Wetmore is back, and now he has his co-host with him, Mr. Perry Lunsford. You guys have seen them both on the shows before. And so John, Perry, real quick, John, if you want to kick us off, just for anybody that maybe hasn't seen you around or wasn't around in the group when you were running your Tactical Thursday shows, just kind of share a little bit about who you are, kind of what you do. You guys go round robin, and then kind of just talk about the show and what you guys are kind of wanting to do with it and how you're going to provide value to people.
Yeah, well, dude, I appreciate you having me on. And when you called, I was like, man. But then you were like, Perry's involved. So we came out to Austin last week or a week before, whatever, and him and I just had a blast, like being dipshits together. And we're like, if we can do this in front of a camera, I'm in. It's just, you know what I mean? A little different style. We want to mix it up a little bit, not be quite the same old thing, doing the same type interview with the same type people. So, it sounded exciting, man. For those that don't know, I'm in the life insurance space. I have a life insurance agent, a couple thousand agents sell a month in our agency. I've been doing this 11 years now. Started out as a part-time sales agent, was terrible. And thank God to some people who believed in me and helped me kind of learn my flaws and kind of honest with what I needed to change. And I figured out how to sell a bunch of life insurance and was able to quit my job to do this full time and feed my 5 babies, because that was tough, making no money before. And it's been a cool journey, man. I've been very fortunate to be able to help a lot of people provide for their families, and honestly, just by sharing my journey, my mistakes, the things I've learned, and try to help other people get there quicker, dude. So that's caught on. We've done, fairly well in the space, and I just enjoy doing what I can to help others get there, man, and having a blast doing it. So
One of the things I love about you, John, is the humility and the humbleness that you embody. Even though you have reached such a beautiful pinnacle of success in this industry, you still maintain a very down-to-earth, humble nature right there at ground level, ready to help new agents get their stuff going. Where does that come from? Where does that humility come from in your perspective or in your personality?
I don't know if I have the perfect answer, because I don't think about it a lot. I'm just kind of myself, I come from the hood. I grew up on welfare to a single teenage mom, and I was broke till I was 36. Hell, I was an adult living my first apartment that wasn't with my in-laws. The government paid for it too when I was like 20, and I lived with my in-laws till I was, 27, something like that. So I'm super grateful for where I'm at today. And I didn't do it I did the work. The piece I'll never deny is I did the mother effing work. You know what I mean? Like I'll take that. But man, without all these good people that have come into my life over the last 11 years, there's zero chance I'm anywhere. No one gives a crap or knows who I am or done anything. You know, so I see myself just like another guy, you know, that's out there just trying to do better for my family. And I'm not confused. I've taken more risks probably than most people are willing to. I'm willing to go out there without knowing exactly what I'm doing. I don't care if I mess up at all. That doesn't bother me. I mean, I'll adjust and adapt from it. But I don't know, dude. I don't see myself in the light that other people see me. I mean, I'm not confused. We do well. You know what I mean? I go home every day to a nice house and I have nice cars and my kids get to do whatever they want and they go to a nice school and my schedule's great. Like, I don't have to think about money, which is awesome. But I don't feel like I'm any different of a person. I just followed a path, man, that people laid in front of me. I didn't create anything. I didn't invent anything. I mean, life insurance been around for, I don't know, generate multiple 5, 6, 7 generations of mine. I don't know, forever. So I think anyone can do what I've done if they put in the work I put in. You know, I believe that with everything I got. So I'm like, if I can, all I got to do is tell you the work I did. Now you just get to choose whether or not you do it. And crazy enough, dude, people still say they don't do it. I'm like, it's not that deep. It just takes a while, and it's every day.
Right.
You know, so I don't know how to answer it, but I appreciate the feedback because I don't want to be one of those douchebags that's not humble and grateful for what they have.
That's a douchebag.
So I feel good. Makes me feel good on the inside, Tony.
Yeah,
Always do.
You know you're humble when you're like, yeah, we have about a couple thousand agents writing a month, and just cruises on by that, and I'm over here like, holy shit. It's amazing, man. Well, dude, we appreciate you, bro, and appreciate your time. You know, and again, thank you for coming back. I know a lot of people were wanting to hear more from you, and I think what you and Perry, we're going to hear from next, are going to do, and what the value you're going to bring to the group is going to be awesome. So we've got a lot of cool ideas that we're going to be throwing out there that guys are going to be doing with you, and man, it's going to be freaking sick. It definitely ain't going to be your normal podcast, so I am excited for that. And without further ado, Mr. Perry Lunsford, go ahead, take us through. Where are you
Live
at
from
first?
Barcelona, Spain.
Yeah.
Barcelona. I gotta. There's my winning on Wednesday. I like to disappear for a couple of weeks, and I would say I'd not work, but just focus on work. Does that make sense? Just like focus my mind on work, so that I'm and not have the daily bullshit getting in the way of thinking about it, and just kind of meditate on it and stare at my beautiful wife. So we're in the middle of that right now.
Very nice.
What
The
time?
weather there in Barcelona looks phenomenal.
Right.
It's 85 degrees and everyone is beautiful, and it's always great being somewhere where I'm the ugly, stupid one. So I don't even speak the language.
We should do the first one out there, bro, or one of them. We need to go somewhere.
I tried to get you to. You were the one who wouldn't come to dinner with me.
No, I was not scared. You almost called me scared.
Yeah,
I said
tried
Maddox
to take it
has
back.
baseball and football games, and I don't want to skip.
We have 5.
Definitely in.
We have 5 kids as well. I'm just not a great parent, so they're just fending for themselves.
This is going to be amazing. That right there, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't wait for y'all's first show. Perry, real quick, for anybody that hasn't seen you or doesn't know you, give them a little of your backstory.
I'm just a health insurance guy who's somehow accidentally talented in that realm, and I crave smarter people than me. I crave being around people who are smarter than me. I had no interest in doing this podcast till you said Wetmore's name, and then all of a sudden I was like, holy shit, you mean I get to hang out with this guy and just ask questions and learn from him every week? I'm in. Let's go. So yeah, I just sell health insurance, man.
So
I'm accidentally quasi-famous in this world for no reason except for when you aim your marketing at people trying to buy health insurance, you accidentally aim it at people who sell it. So
I like that.
A little nugget right there for y'all.
Yeah,
that's pretty
there
solid.
You go.
That's true.
Yeah, I gotta.
I hadn't thought about it that way until just recently. We had an agent that reached out to us who's been watching Grace's content. Right, and all of her content is outbound educational in Spanish, teaching Spanish-speaking folks about Medicare. And this guy up in Dallas saw it been watching it for a while, then reached out to us, and now he looks like he's going to be coming to work with us. So, yeah, that works.
Super cool.
Love it.
Super
Cool.
cool.
Well, real quick for you guys,
Go ahead.
talk about the show, Perry, John. If you guys just want to share kind of just some of the things that you guys are really looking to achieve from the show, and again, some of that value that you're going to bring to the members. Maybe even talk about some of the things that we covered. I believe that was last week, just on, hey, here's some things that we're looking at implementing within the show to kind of make it different. But the floor is all y'all's.
John, go ahead, man.
Man, I knew you were going to say that. I was going to tell you that first, so I didn't get stuck saying the stuff. I don't remember what we talked about. The beauty of this show is that we haven't prepared anything other than it will not be the same as all the others, or we're both going to quit. That's what we know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So now it's your turn.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
So I have no interest in interviewing agents that no one's ever heard of. I have no interest in spending an hour a week talking about health insurance. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a great one. Hopefully my kids are better than me. I'm a little better than my father. And so, but I just love life growth. And my experience is that life growth equals business growth. And those two things go hand in hand, or at least a healthy version of it does. And so my intention with this, again, is just to spend time and learn from John. And through trying to grow myself, hopefully we can help other people grow. And then we can make people a little uncomfortable and try to tell it like it is, or like we think it is, because we're probably wrong. I know I'm probably wrong, and John likes to say the same thing. So that's my intention with this. Even if it's just the two of us bullshitting about growth, then great. And if we have, if we're lucky enough to have somebody smarter than us on the show, then that's even better.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be too hard.
Oh man! Well, talk a little bit about the building.
If they only knew Tony, they'd feel better about themselves. I'm gonna bring in one of my report cards from school one day and be like, my GPA here's what it looks like. Yeah.
Talk a little bit on the building side. Why you guys obviously share the story of the secret handshake. I think that's just funny, but then kind of just why the building with Mavericks.
I'll do the handshake because Perry's the marketing guy and he came up with the name. So we were just like, we get to this event of yours and both of us, we look at each other and go, do you just kind of want to wing it versus like saying maybe what we thought we were going to say walking in? And he goes, let's just have a conversation. I'm like, all right. So him and I were having a great conversation. What was funny about the event, dude, is Perry and I sat in the corner of that bar for, I don't know, you told us like 9 times we were getting started and we never did. We sat there for like 2 hours talking. And I'm definitely going to make like millions of dollars from that conversation, personally, from things I learned in that just a couple hours, just me and him talking.
Love it.
And weird
it's
enough,
cost me about $5,000 so far. Hopefully it turns into millions.
Yeah, one day, bro. One day. One day we're gonna share the car thing, the museum thing.
Yeah.
But,
it worked, by the way.
I know. I was reading about it yesterday. I'm like, I'm definitely doing this. I'm 100% doing it. So I was looking it up before we had you and I, because I didn't want to call you while you were on vacation staring at your wife. So I was like, let me just actually do some research first. So we're talking over there, and I thought it was funny that not one person came over the entire time. I'm like, are we that intimidated, or are they like that ignorant? Like, what's happening? So we just kept enjoying it. So we get up front, and I'm like, he goes, maybe we should just keep talking. So we just kind of kept talking and just let people listen. We engaged a little bit, and we had a blast. And Perry and I have never really hung out a ton. We've met at a couple events. We've chatted a little bit. So at the end, he goes to shake my hand. And you know how, like, you don't know if someone's going to shake or dap it up or you don't know what's going to happen and you mess it up. Well, that happened live on camera. And Perry said something. I think he literally said, that's our new secret handshake or something.
Yeah.
And we just laughed about it and moved on with our day. And then we started talking about this thing, and we both were thinking the same way, like, dude, why don't we make that the name? And then we can tell a really stupid story about how we came up with it. But it actually kind of makes sense for what we're trying to accomplish too. And then he was asking name-wise. I'm like, dude, you're the marketing guy. You just tell me. I'm in. I'm sold on whatever you want.
We're the building with
I had to
Mavericks
Google Mavericks, to be clear. Like when he sent it the first time, I Googled it. Because I didn't know. I mean, I heard the name, but I didn't know what it meant. When I read it, I'm like, he's a freaking genius. That's perfect. So some of y'all that don't know what it means, Google it. It'll make more sense.
Technically, that was my input. Just,
That was Tony's, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when you said it, it hit my heart special, because in my head, John is very Iceman-ish anyways. And, well, I guess that just leaves one other person for me to be. And my first car was a Maverick.
That slider?
And then a Medallion. What's that?
Guess that makes you Slider, right?
That makes me Goose, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, whatever. I don't give a shit what you call me. And so, anyways, I think I don't meet a lot of people that I feel immediately like I have a lot in common with. John and I both have 5 kids. I'm a product of government help, so I could eat lunch when I was a kid. I grew up with nothing, and watched my father build a company, and I was able to do that too. It's been my passion through life. And then John grew up in a similar childhood, and I just absolutely adore the time I spent with him. And I think that we do things differently than the rest of the world. He has a computer science and accountant brain, and I do not. But I think if you took him and made him a marketing guy, or took me and made me an accountant guy, you got the same guy. And I think we do things differently than the rest of the world, and I think that we have something to give back. And hell yeah, I can learn along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I love where the building part of it came from too. Again, you guys obviously heard John talk. He's got a couple thousand writing agents a month. His organization, I believe. I mean, who knows what you guys are going to do this year? And I know I'll say the numbers because I know. I don't know if you can say them though or not, but they do over 200 million a year. I mean, they're freaking amazing, right? And that obviously comes with building. And I think with building, a lot of people, you can hire a bunch of people and throw a bunch of people at a wall and just see who sticks, right? And I think, kind of y'all's systems, it's high volume, but it's because what you were talking about earlier, John, like, dude, the road has already been paved. Right. And so it's just giving people, it's not necessarily throw them at a wall and see who sticks. It's, hey, I'm going to bring on a bunch of people and show them exactly what to do in order to get the results that I've gotten. Right. And so, again, I wanted to highlight that. And obviously, Perry, I loved your point where it's like, hey, when you're targeting to sell that, it's funny, you get the health agent too. And, obviously, I know what you and Jamie are doing with the team. And Jamie, I saw Jamie's talking trash to you in the comments, even though I think she's sitting right there. But it was, I know, there she is. I know what you guys are doing with your team. Obviously, you've had, quite a few of your team members reach out to me for some of that social media stuff. And I just love everything that you guys are doing, again, to really grow your agents on that side of thing. And you said life growth equals business growth. And that's one thing I think you do really well, Perry, is I see all the things that you do with your team, right? And how you really build that culture, or just the Lion's Den and just the vibe of those offices. Everybody looks like they're freaking having a blast, right? And when you're doing that, and then turns out when you look at the sales behind it too, I think you guys are doing pretty well on that side as well. So I wanted to highlight that because you guys are, two of the best builders in my opinion. 200 million,
yeah.
Well, a little different, right? Or no, you're just going to say no?
Yeah, I said yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
It's coming.
It's coming, he says.
Yeah. That's why I agreed to hang out with you. I'm just trying to trick you into being my friend so I can steal all your shit.
Steal all the mojo?
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm all about stealing shit. You don't even have to steal it.
Mojo's not a finite resource.
I give it away every day.
You're
just one that's smart enough to use it.
Mojo ain't a finite resource. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody has questions, and I'm like, why are you asking these questions? You're not going to do anything with it. It's
You know, it was my favorite, dude.
But I'll
When
answer.
we're at this.
What's that?
We're at this event, and we were at dinner actually. You and I sat next to each other at dinner, and we were talking about different ways because you build internal, where mine is all remote. Like if you come, I always tell everyone, if you come to my office, you'd think we're unemployed because we sit in a cave. Me and Amanda sit in a cave by ourselves, and we don't even turn lights on most of the days. And so I obviously have had to do things with most of our agent force remote. And so I started talking about different ways we've trained people remotely. And where did we go home? What day was that? Was it Friday? That thing was on a Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think we went home Saturday. Sunday morning, you text me and you're like, I've already put 90 something videos on this training platform that I got a tip from you at dinner. I was like instant implementation. You know what I mean? He didn't like mess around. I don't think he slept since the time he left Austin to start working on just something that can help his business.
Was that the private channel, the private social media channel we discussed?
Yeah, I can't get my people to log into the websites that I built because it's just complicated, right? And people are, we're all lazy. Me too, all of us, right? And so I was like, well, you fuckers spend all your life on TikTok anyways. I'm just going to build a private TikTok channel and we're going to make this bad boy happen. So
nice. And you already had the
algorithm follow them.
You just had to upload it, get the channel rolling, and get it out there. That's doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, but we started we've been creating just way more content since then. Way more content. We're making content all day now. Just most of it's bullshit. So you got to eliminate the bullshit so you're not boring people. But yeah.
I love that. Well, so talk about that then. For somebody who's new that's trying to put out some content, like I saw Alexis on here, right? She's one of your agents. She's doing a freaking amazing job. Has like a group of like 1,000 people.
It's incredible what she's
blowing
doing.
it up. She's killing it. But again, for a new agent that's trying to, what would be your advice to them? And John, you can answer this too, on just what type of content should they be putting out there? Hey, I don't really know necessarily 100% what to market, or I guess how to put myself out there. What advice would you have for that?
Well, the first thing I would say is, listen, I'm a 48-year-old dude. I have no interest in being on Facebook, but it's my job and it's how I feed my family, right? So, and that's how I feed my team. So I don't have a choice. So that's what we do. The second thing I would say is, find a true version of yourself and use it, and instead of something else, whatever isn't the true version of yourself. The next thing I would say is be interesting. Like right before this, and about an hour before this call, I got this friend request from a guy, and I'm like, well, who is this guy? And I go and I look, and we had like 50 mutual friends, and they were all insurance agents and all over the place. And I'm like, oh well, he's trying to sell me something. So I was flipping through his page, and he does social media and sales coaching. And every single post on his page either had no likes or 2, and it was the same 2 people who liked every single one of them. And there was videos on there of this is how you market on Facebook, and this is how you should make your Facebook profile, and this is how you should. I'm like, bro, you're so uninteresting. You want people to pay you to coach you on something you're not even capable of doing. That's adorable, right? So if you're going to do social media and you're going to create content, then stop being corny and find a version of you that's real and interesting, and just be more of that.
Like it. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got, Mr. Wetmore?
Or not, because I could be full of shit.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be right now. I'm just going to make something up. I hope it sounds good. Now, I would say for myself, dude, I never want to sit in front of a camera and create content. I literally hate the thought of that.
It's horrible.
And I don't. Yeah, and to be clear, I don't do it. Now, I'm on social all day, every day, because I do stuff like this, and I hit the record button, and I send it to someone, and they chop it up and put it on social for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do it. I don't want. So I stole from I don't know I never remember if it's Gary Vee or Bradley, one of those two, maybe both of them, or one stole it from the other. The concept of document, don't create. I like that. So I just document the stuff I do, and then put it out there. Now, when I got started, the way I started doing content is agents would ask questions, and everyone could do this, whether you have agents or even if you just have clients. If you're selling insurance, you get asked questions every single day of the week. Write down the questions and go record a video on the answer. That's how my social started. I got the following I have on social because I'm lazy, and I got sick and tired of answering the same effing questions from new agents every single week. So I found very common questions that were asked. And I literally, if you find my old stuff, it's me sitting on my back deck at night. You can probably hear the frogs in the background. My hat's on backwards. There's no lighting, no nothing. I don't give a crap. I would record whatever questions were asked most that week. And then next time I got it asked, I would send, like, if Perry goes like, hey, what do you do when someone's 70 years old and has a big mortgage? I can't figure out how to sell that. I'd go, hey, dude, watch this video. And if you have any more questions afterwards, call me and I'll clarify. And one day I woke up and I had like 6,000 followers. I'm like, I don't even know what happened. Because that was not the plan. It was literally so I could be lazy. And then I did this little chat, this little, what was it called? I told y'all at dinner. Marco Polo was this app we used to use. There's other stuff now, but back then we used that. And I would tell them to video me a question when they had time, and I would video back an answer when I had time. Meaning, don't call me right now necessarily, because everything's not urgent. Like, you do it. If it's urgent, call me. But do this. So then I would take the question video and the answer video and merge them together and put them on social. And then I would share them with other agents so they could see the question that the agent asked and see my answer to that question. And that's how my stuff started. And I've just run with that. So if I make anything now, I have a list of questions people ask. I'm like, oh, I can record that. But I do so much of this style content that I'm like, I don't even have to create content anymore. It's made every day now. So
you say document, not create. And it's like, guys, when he says that, that's because John does a lot. So he has a lot to document. So if you're not working that hard, you're probably going to struggle with that strategy because you gotta be doing something to document it, guys.
Which is why I gave him the other answer. You take the questions. Hopefully you're seeing at least a client a week. Like, make some content out of it.
So when I'm talking to my clients and I say something I think is interesting, I go, mental note, write it down, and then I go create that content. So everything that I say in any of my commercials or posts or anything is just something that I said to a client or to an agent or someone, and I was like, oh, that was kind of witty. Let me recreate that. So,
yeah, love that. That's good. Well, honestly, guys, this was kind of the purpose of the show is we just wanted to bring John and Perry on, announce that we're bringing back the Thursday show. It's going to be the secret handshake building with freaking Mavericks, man. It's going to be epic. You guys, obviously, again, I'm seeing it in the comments. The vibe of this new show is going to be amazing. You are right, Josh. And so we're super excited to bring y'all on. And I know a lot of our members are as well. And so with that, we won't keep anybody too much longer, but maybe John, Perry, just last couple words, or actually, let's ask this question. This is Tony's question, but I'll ask it for him. What's on the horizon for John Wetmore and Perry Lunsford? What's next on the horizon, John?
So we have this new podcast coming out. Have you heard?
That's such an easy answer. Oh, that's funny. Come on, give us something.
We are, I don't know the best answer, dude. You know what? I just left, I was at the Vault conference, Patrick McDavid's conference.
Yeah, that looks sick. How was that? Was that sick?
Dude, it was so good. It's hard to even explain because anything you think about a conference, this was the opposite. It was not people get on stage and make you feel good or tell their stories or their sob stories or any. It was literally zero of that. He gave this like 300-page, 250-page, however, like a thick workbook. And we went through it the entire time. It was very like tactical and technical. Like, when you have this problem, here's how you handle it. He would engage the crowd. First of all, it was the highest end audience crowd I've ever been around. I mean, there were people. I met this dude who does like 50 million a month in revenue from some country in Europe. I forget which one. This dude, another guy I met, $87 million EBITDA. There were people making $5, $10, $15, $20 million in every industry known to man.
Right.
at all ages and all backgrounds. I've never seen anything like it in one room. But this Pat would like leverage the knowledge. So if you had a question, Joe, right? How do I scale my PNC agency? Here's my problem, A, B, and C. He goes, anybody else do what Joe does. And he'd get someone in like one guy was doing construction. He was struggling going from like 20, 30, $40 million government construction projects up to $200 million. And he listed his 3 problems why. Right? So they go, anybody else do that? 3 people raised their hand in the crowd that they do government construction contracts. So they gave feedback. One of the things was how to raise money was his problem due to interest rates and the way the contracts are written, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, I'm trying to get a $200 million contract done, and I don't know even where to turn. He goes, can anyone provide $200 million in the room? One dude raised a hand in the back. He's like, I can do that. And Pat set up the deal right there from stage.
That's freaking sick.
Like, that was what the conference
$200 million deal, just boom.
Yeah,
wow.
It was like that. We'd do case studies. So he'd go, hey, here's a made up, or it was real, but change the names in it. Here's the problem. Here's the business issue. Here's the problems. Here's the scenario. Here's the players. Here's everything going on. What would you do? And then 4 of us, so there are 3,000 people there. So 4 would get together. So like 800 groups of 4, we'd get together and we'd go over the case study, come up with how we would handle it as a group. And then he'd spend the next hour letting people get up on the mic and share the team's answers. And you got to see, he likes, what do you call it when you like debates? He loves debate. Mm-hmm. He's a big debate guy.
Yes, he does.
So he would bring up very different strategies and approaches and let him debate on why which one made sense.
I like that.
The conference was more like that than just
sick.
Speakers. It was so good. So a lot of the premise was trying to figure out kind of who you want to be in the future and being willing to reinvent yourself if you're not satisfied with where you're at now. Right? So I'm not unhappy about where I'm at, but I'm definitely not satisfied. So it's like, all right, maybe I got to reinvent myself in some way is the way I came out of that event. So I've spent the last 3 days like brainstorming, taking notes, talking to some people that I trust. I'm like, dude, what does that mean for me is kind of what's going. So something dope's going to come out of it. That's going to be different than the answer you probably expected. I'm not there yet. It's like, right there.
Yeah, no, I love that, dude. So, I got to go to that freaking conference, man. I didn't know, dude, there was 3,000 people there too. Yeah.
So they got sections too, right? So they have the CEO section, which is like, you just pay the most and you get the most access. So that when I said the construction thing, there was a group of like 200 that paid the CEO level price. It's like 13 G's or something.
Yeah.
But we got like a private event at his house, private dinner. Like you definitely get more access. I think the low end ticket's like $500 or something. And you're in the same main room, which is 80% of the conferences in there. It was hands down the best conference I've ever been to in my life. It wasn't even close.
It's awesome. Need to get there. Maybe a Syndicate Media can sponsor us going there next year, Tony.
There you go. Now we're talking.
Get a little bit more cheddar in the bank account on that side of things. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for sharing, John. Perry, what's next on the horizon for the healthy insurance dude? I know you hate me even calling you that, but.
So I sat at dinner with this really cool cat a few weeks ago. And while I was sitting there talking to him, I was like, fuck, I got to reinvent myself. And and so Jamie and I are consistently working on, there's these ideas out there that, in our section of the world, this is how things are done. And, in the beginning of my career here doing this, I shattered a lot of those ideas, but I don't have the same job now that I did then. And then I've kind of felt myself falling into that this is how things are done. And the truth is that what's really overwhelmed me in the last 2 weeks is that's bullshit. This is how things are done because I've never done it before. It hasn't been successful because I haven't made it successful before. And so my whole thing all that I've worked on since I got here in my head, and all I've worked on before I came, and all I've worked on since John and I met is reinventing myself and saying bullshit. Those things have never worked before because I haven't done it. and I'm just going to go do it. So,
Right.
True definition of a maverick.
I hope so. It is now.
Like, I hope so. I love it, man. I love it. Well, thank you, everybody, for hopping on. Again, I hope you guys are as excited for that Thursday show as I am. I know I'm going to be tuning in every morning with my pen and paper. And that's the other thing. You know, I put that in the description, and I'm not being corny, guys. Like, you really should be freaking taking notes during this stuff. Like, we take notes. Like, even the people running the shows are freaking taking notes. So, like, if you're not doing that, and it's something about writing it down, right? It's not, hey, I can go back and just watch the replay. I'm telling you, like, when you want to get it up here, get your pen and paper out and start taking some notes, because these guys, especially on the Thursday show, are going to be I mean, you guys heard them. They have built massive multi-million-dollar organizations. I would be taking notes if I were you. I know I'm going to be. So thank you, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you, Perry, for taking the time, dude. You're in Barcelona and still hopping on, man. I do appreciate that. I know, we're taking away from some of your meditation time and staring at your beautiful wife. So I appreciate you guys. And Tony, you got any parting words for us?
Not so much. I was thinking a little bit about your comment on just throwing a bunch of people on the wall against the wall and who sticks. And it came to my mind that the guy that sticks is the sweaty one, because he works the hardest. So
yeah, I agree.
That's about it.
That's what we're leaving it with.
That's what I got.
Honestly,
Sweaty guy.
I feel like
The sweaty
Wouldn't
guy.
the sweaty guy like slide down?
That's what I was thinking.
I like the way you're thinking. We can work on it.
We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant, Tony.
There you go.
He's gonna rewrite it this week.
I'll work on it some more.
It was close, dude. It was close.
I love it. Well, again, thank you
Joe,
guys.
Tony.
Thank you to all of our members. Happy winning on Wednesday. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your week. Remember, it's the peak of the week, right? And my bit is, hey, you want to get out there and create some content, document, not create, be genuine, right? Don't be cliche. And just because you haven't done it before, it doesn't mean it can't work, right? So I appreciate you guys. Hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day. We'll talk to y'all later.
See you.